I dropped out after 2.5 years. Then I ended up going back there in 2014, got my degree, kept it to myself. Then a year later, told my mum that, oh yeah, you know, I went back to uni and graduated. She was like, what? I said, yeah. Like, she said, you just said it so casually. I said, you know what it is? If I told you when I was in uni, you'd have been on the phone just bragging. And I was just like, I don't need that attention. Like, when I do stuff, I do it for me. I don't do it for no one else. So I don't need no one's accolades. I actually don't care. You know what I mean? So she didn't get that. But for her, I guess it was something where she wanted one of her children to
go to uni.
Yeah.
I think that's with a lot of parents though. I think it's very ingrained to them that, oh, you have to go to uni to be successful. Yeah. To get a secure job and all that stuff. And
well, fortunately, it's one of those things I knew that it's, even though when I did it, the only thing, I'll say the main thing I took out from uni was discipline and value of my time. That's about it. Degree-wise, I knew it would have no effect on my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you didn't enjoy it at all?
You know what? School is not for everyone. I've known that since I was a little kid. So when I went to school in Africa, if you were really smart, you had an option of doing a test where you can skip a year in the school I went to. I used to pass that. I used to ace that test every year because I wanted to fly through. Like, if I stayed in school in Africa, the whole plan was fly through school and try and finish even uni while still being like in your mid-teens. But my mom kept on holding me back in my year up until when I got to like year 4, and there was that option, like, and they let me skip. You know what I mean? So prior to that, it would have been like I would have had to stay all the time in the same year group, and I hated school. My mom was like, "Right, why do you always like doing this test?" I said, "I don't want to be in school." I was trying to find my way through school early. I just wanted to work. Like, I've always had that. I just want to make money from young in my head. So I just knew school wasn't for me. Like, it's one of them things, like, book smart is book smart, but it don't always translate to real life. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, anyone could go, anyone who's, I'll say anyone who's very good at regurgitating information, school's for them.
It's all memory.
It's all memory.
It's all memory.
You get what I'm saying? Like, as a kid, I was very good at cramming things within an hour or two and storing it temporary.
Yeah.
So if I had a test, like, a lot of times I'll do a little revision, then on the same day of the test, I'll start reading for 2 hours before, remember what I need to, pass,
that's it.
And that's it.
Exactly.
Like,
forget the information.
The only things that I was able to absorb all the time was things to do with like maths or science, because I actually enjoy that side of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when it came to stuff like English, language, literature and all that, I used to,
yeah, that was like me, to be fair.
That shit used to go, bro.
It was the worst. But I guess we'll talk about what you do now. So you've been PTing for how long? More than a few years. Many moons.
I did 10 years straight. I stopped in April.
In April, yeah.
Yeah, I stopped in April.
And you said 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 straight.
How has the industry changed from when you did it 10 years ago to now? Because I assume that it's changed a lot. And if so, for the better or the worst with social media and everything?
I'll say the good part with social media, it's brought more people into fitness. That's the good part about social media. Because before, going gym wasn't cool.
You don't think?
Nah. Back in the day, going gym wasn't cool. Like, it was like, before I started PTing, gym rats were looked at as similar to how people look at people who love anime. So I love anime. So they think, oh yeah, that's Nikki.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why you was in the gym? Like, that's how it looked back then. Then fast forward, as social media came, it became trendy to go gym. It felt like the 70s and 80s boom, like, you know, that Arnold period got revived again. So like, I remember like early 2012 to like maybe like 14, there became this big boom where everyone wanted to get involved in fitness. You had all the expos then, and the expos used to do really well, and you had companies like Gymshark all of a sudden came from just being a little brand where he was making clothes at home to $1 billion company.
Yeah.
So it came during that period where all of a sudden it became cool to go to gym.
Yeah.
You know?
But don't you think it's too much now with all the recording? Because like Kings, for example, whenever I speak to people, a lot of the older guys will say, oh, you know, it's just become like an influencer gym.
I don't go there no more, so I ain't been there since Jan.
Yeah.
You see, I would say I'm part of that problem. Like, I would say I'm one of the ones who caused that problem because I put out content. But the thing is, I do it different where if the gym's busy, you never see me film. If the gym is dead quiet, that's when you see me bring out my camera and film.
Yeah.
But I always knew my timing. A lot of times I used to film was between 7:30 in the morning till 9. I call it the school run / before the drug dealers come to the gym. That's what that time is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The 7:30 to 9 people do school run. The early bunch have left the gym to go to work.
Yeah.
So it's like a dead period. So when I was PTing, I knew that during that time, I kind of made it me time. I would literally avoid training anyone during that time. And they would always be like, oh, why don't you want to train no in between this time? I'm like, so I can train and film it. You know what I mean? Because knowing that there's no one there. So like for instance now, the reason why I'm not churning as much fitness content, and you probably realize this, you haven't put that much on, is because during that period, a lot of times now I'm just stuck in work mode. That I'm not thinking about the social part of it. But next year, I think what I'll start doing is the other gym I used to go to, Gym Sutton, go there in the middle of the night and I'll just stockpile a month's worth of footage. It's a lot easier like that. And that way it doesn't affect my training, because it's annoying when you have to set your camera and find the right angle, look at your phone, press record, all of that. It slows down your tempo of how intense you train. Like me, a lot of times when I go to the gym now, my sessions are like literally just an hour. The moment my watch hits an hour, I could be on the second set or third set. I just leave. I just go to the treadmill, do my 30 minutes cardio. So I say an hour for lifting, 30 minutes on cardio, and gone. Like everything is just
structured.
Yeah, structured. Like I say it like this now, I can't be in the gym all day wasting time. Like the other day I was on the treadmill running and someone was coming at me and said, "Oh, what's your YouTube?" Blah, blah, blah. I just said, brother. When like I was doing intervals, I said, let me chat to you when I finish. And I was like, cool. I was like, I can't breathe. Trying to catch my breath, trying to hold a full-on conversation. No, I've just literally said to myself, like my time is so tight with a lot of things I need to do. So I have to be that strict on myself, because if not, you get carried away. I'm in the gym the whole day. It's like I'm programmed now that I have to do certain things as my daily. So I don't mind missing a lifting session, but I have to do 30 minutes of cardio every single day at the moment. That's just like my little thing. It's like my little thinking time. It's weird. A lot of my ideas of things I need to do comes when I'm just in motion, just walking and not thinking about anything but just, right, what am I going to do next? You know what I mean?
Agree. Because one thing I was saying the other day, I go for runs now.
Yeah.
And when I go for a run, that is my time to really think about and reject my negative thoughts. I don't know, like when I'm running, I'm really able to reject, reject all the thoughts, and I'm able to, do my affirmations as such whilst I'm running. So it's interesting that you say that as well, because I think everyone's different. Not everyone can do cardio. People hate cardio. Growing up, who did you look to for your PT journey? Like, were you one that looked up to like Arnold and stuff like that?
You know what's mad,
Or not really? Kind of just did your own thing?
Just kind of did my own thing, but I used to read Muscle and Fitness magazine from school days. So I would see all Arnold's old workouts, Dorian Yates, Mike Mensa, all these old school guys, Kevin Levrone, Dexter Jackson. So I just used to be reading magazines to figure out what workouts I'm going to do at home. Because before I joined the gym, I had a bench, dumbbells, and a barbell in my room. So when me and my cousin, when I was 13, went to Argos and we just bought all, because we wanted to look like Goku and Vegeta. So our inspiration to be in shape wasn't even the bodybuilders, it was Dragon Ball Z that got us into that lifestyle. So yeah, I just remember like using the bodybuilding magazines just to learn, because remember back then you didn't have like YouTube like now where you could just go and just watch and learn.
Yeah,
you just literally picture A, picture B, picture C, so you would see like 3 stages and just figure out from that. Yeah,
because I think back then, like you said, no YouTube, you had to learn from actually going to the gym and watching people
So we first learned from the magazines, the pictures in the magazines. Then when we started going gym, the elders would just correct little bits of our form. But by the time we started going gym, the elders were like, you lot already got decent foundation, because we didn't realize how strong we were, because we were just kind of competing with each other at home. So imagine like you're like 16 now and you go to the gym and you're already doing 80 kilos for 10. And the elders are looking at you thinking, wait, who's that little you? Because you're your cousin on this, we want to be like Goku and Vegeta. We're thinking the way they push themselves is normal. So that became our mentality. We took on the Dragon Ball Z mentality of just keep going. You know? Yeah.
It's interesting because I think, what was your like goal when you're doing your PTing? Like, how were you promoting yourself? Were you weight loss? Was it muscle gain? Was it everything?
It was kind of like everything, to be fair. But
because you've built up a decent clientele of
when I was, but I kind of fell into it by accident, where I remember like I was working nights, I was working doors in mostly like West End and West London. So originally started in the South, then went West End and West London. And my girl at the time, she was like, every time we go to gym together, the PTs are always coming up to you and asking, what do you think I should do with this or do with that? So she's like, if the PTs are always asking you for advice, why not become one? So I was just like, you know what, no brainer, you're kind of making sense. Like, instead of me working every like weekend night and any weekday night I could fit in between, I could scale back and just start PTing. So literally, I remember did my level 2, did my level 3. It took me I did a longer course. So now you can probably knock out a PT course in like 2 weekends. But back then when I did mine, it took about 6 months, because I just had to keep on going to classes all the time. I can't remember the people I did it with, but kept on going to classes all the time in Peckham, and they proper made us take our time, you know what I mean?
Was it expensive?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So fast forward now, I don't even know the prices, but I just know that now there's so much.
I think it's a good like $3,000.
Oh, for real? Now I just know there's so much companies that you can just knock it out so quickly. Like, now it's more about the money for them than the knowledge. But back then, I just remember like every single week I was in class like 2-3 times. And I was thinking to myself, this is long. But at the same time, because it felt like I was going back to school. I remember I told you already that school just wasn't for me. But it was a thing that when she said it to me, she was like, listen, like, you're working nights, you could just ease up a bit. But the funny thing is, when I first started PTing, I still was working nights, so I was doing both. I was still grafting out both. Then when I started uni the following year, I remember like I nearly failed first year because I was always working. I was at Fitness First in Clapham Junction, and I had between 45 to 50 PT hours a week. But that was a combination of, one, I was competing at the time, so I was always shredded. And during that period was the early period of men's physique. So like in the gym I was working, I instantly just stood out. Like, this guy is walking around training in a vest and you could see like every little detail. So like instantly everyone was just like, Oh yeah, he PTs. So I was getting clients off that.
Okay.
Then the sales manager was my client, so that instantly helped. So imagine you're training the sales manager, and people come in and sign up to the gym. Then they clock in, you train the sales manager. So they're walking up to me and saying, "Oh, you train the guy who signed me up." I was like, "Yeah." So it made things fall easier for me. So it was like, you're winning them both. And then the girls who worked the reception, I got along with all of them. So if someone just walked up to them and said, "Oh, I need a PT," they just point on the board.
Yeah.
So like I was getting fed from multiple people, but it was affecting uni where I kept on falling asleep in class. And then I remember it was 2015 May, Memorial Weekend. I was meant to come back from done rep, but I stayed. I missed an exam. So they made me come redo that exam on my 30th birthday. I was pissed. I was so vexed. They were like, "Right, if you know this exam, you failed. If you don't redo it, you fail first year." So I had to redo that in August. I was so vexed, but you know what? That trip was worth it still.